What's up, everybody? It's Devin DiNofa, founder of Harvest Performance Coaching. I am excited because we have another member taking the time, and I'm so thankful that you're taking the time to record a quick testimonial to share with whoever watches their experience and what the Harvest was able to do for them personally and professionally. And next up, we have Steve Mullen. Steve, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Why don't you share people first and foremost who you are and what exactly you do?
Sure. Thanks, Devin. Appreciate the opportunity to do this. Everyone, I'm Steve Mullen. I work for a company called Advantage Unified Communications. We're a software company that focuses on, I work for their voice division, where we have a voice over IP phone service. We have a CRM. We have a marketing analytics tool. So there's a number of things that we do that we offer companies predominantly in the small, mid-sized business space.
Awesome. All right, let's get into it. So next question is, why did you decide to join the Harvest?
Yeah, that's interesting because, I went through, as everybody did last year, a time that was just so different and kind of, it gave everybody some time to kind of maybe sit back, and those that are inclined to maybe reflect a little bit on what's going on, in the world, but also in their own little world. And, I was doing that. And I obviously, I've known you a little bit over the years. We've seen each other at different events and whatever, but we really never connected. But I kept seeing you on social media, and I kept seeing all the videos and the things that you were doing, not related to Harvest, but just your life and your business and your family and all that. And as the year was coming to an end, I was actually thinking about reaching out to you. And I don't even know if I told you this before, but to reach out to you and just kind of connect and really sit down. And then out of nowhere, I get a text from somebody saying, "Hey, Devin's putting together this community, the Harvest, and are you interested?" And I'm like, well, there's some divine intervention right there. And so I said, absolutely. So, I think he connected us. We had our initial conversation, and it was really about, at this stage of where I am in life and career and all that, is like, I've got goals to still achieve, and I need to change some things in my approach and how I'm doing things to get there. And the timing was just, perfect.
Awesome, man. And yeah, and I like the fact that you shared coming out of COVID. And that's why it's like, it kind of hit me to where, man, I didn't really think of it this way, but being able to start this right outside of COVID, a lot of people, me included, like this is something that doesn't happen often. So there's a lot of people out there that are still in that fog that like, this is something that could help them. Right. And I appreciate you sharing that because you're not alone with that. I was the same way, you know what I mean? And I was just like, what can we do? Because I need it just as much as everybody in the community. And I appreciate you just, joining and taking that next step and being a part of it. So you joined, right? So why don't you tell everybody, so far, what has the Harvest done for you personally and professionally?
Yeah, and it's interesting because, like I said, the thing that I was looking at was, a different approach to do things. And, I've been in business for, 30 some years, spent 20 some years in the advertising world. I've done things, I've seen things, and I've worked at many different companies that has given me, access to many different cultures and ways of doing things. But really what this has done is kind of given me that focus. And from the very start of it, I think the very first meeting that I had back in January when I joined was, yeah, I got this, and this that I've got to change immediately. How I'm approaching social media, how I'm doing some of those things that are really projecting my brand and who I am as a person. It wasn't that those things were not authentic, but it wasn't necessarily, particularly from a business standpoint, how I might want to reflect myself out there in the market and bringing some of the political and some of that other, crap into it, I still do have those conversations, but there's a time and a place. But it's really, so those tangible things happen almost immediately of how to really think about things intentionally and be consistent. I think those were the two buzzwords that, they're not really buzzwords, but things that really impacted me almost immediately: being intentional and being consistent, and what's the message that I want out there. And from there, it was, God, meeting, virtually meeting, and now since some in-person meetings with, the other members. Listening to some of the other testimonials, some of the things that have been consistent are like-minded individuals. And I think the one key word I just saw from somebody was the reciprocal nature of the members of this community. I'm probably one of the more quiet people in the group, which is just how my nature is. I listen and I analyze and I think about things, and then I kind of will jump in with a thought or two, or I might put something in the chat in our weekly call or something like that. Usually some smart ass remark, but I try to that's who I am. I'm trying to keep things light and all that, but I'm also, it has given me access to some brilliant people that, I may have met and had a beer with over the years at a networking event or something like that. But in this context, in the way that we're built and you've built this community is, we're a group of professionals who have lives outside of work, with families, with whatever else everybody has. But we also have that professional life, and we all have goals, and everybody is there to help the other members reach those goals. How can I help you is like the most common thing that, we start out conversations with, in a one-on-one. How can I help you? I'm like, before I even get to say, how can I help you? They're asking me, and that's, to me, is the generosity, the honesty, and the integrity that this group has brought to me, and kind of how I've now tried to really transition this old dog into new tricks and do things a little bit differently.
And I'll tell you what, you have, like a lot of times the things that we coach on, I always wonder, like, is this person going to and I hope and pray that everybody executes the stuff that we talk about so we can help them. And it was funny because, like you even said, you're like pretty quiet or whatever. So I was like, I don't know. Hopefully it does. Like, I would love to see him, but you did that 7-video challenge, man. And then when you did that, you got the network to know about you. And then I started to realize how funny you were, right? I was like, wow, like Steve's a great dude. Like, man, if just more people got to know a little bit about him, it didn't matter what he could serve them with the line of work that he does. They just want to just connect with him and support him. And met so many people, Steve, out there. When you said old dog learning new tricks, there's so many people out there that they're just afraid to do new things, or they think they have it all figured out. Meanwhile, there's people that I know that are worth $600 million and are still in coaching, still trying to get, because there's just so many more levels that, quite frankly, we haven't even dreamt of yet. And I'm just trying to get everybody just to think about, like, what if I decided to learn new things and plug in and listen to other people. And on top of that, there's so many things that you're teaching others. And I mean, listen, you jumped into the 75 hard program. You lost a ton of weight too. So literally, visually, as a person, I'm seeing the changes, with your health, you're seeing the changes. And I'll tell you, everybody says nothing but great things. And they're just thankful that you're a part of this community. People are collaborating with you. People are communicating with you. And it's just been awesome seeing you plug in.
Yeah, it's been great. And I think about it, and as we're talking and even just kind of looking into doing something like this and just overall introspective, when we started this group, I mean, there have been meetings where we've had, people who I don't know other than from the community, they're breaking down and they're talking about themselves and struggles that they're having. And then we've had a couple of times where people have broken down and cried, for a minute, recomposed themselves and moved on. And it's not like this is a woe is me thing, but it's a really authentic and honest group and people are vulnerable enough, but they know that they're with those like-minded individuals who only have their best interest at heart. And that's why they're able to do that and why they're able to have those breakthroughs. And we've seen that. And, you've talked to those folks that you've seen a real translation into their real life.
Yeah. And
it's been amazing.
Yeah. And that culture, that culture just comes from, like, when you're a part of this community, listen, and you see it all over social media, everybody has things that they can brag about, right? Well, I'm this title, I'm that title, I've done this, I've done that. But where the real connection comes in is in this community, people know that they can get better. It doesn't matter what they did in the past. So the only way that you can get better, you have to dig deep and look whatever it is in the eyes. And sometimes it's so emotional. Like when I coach people and you guys see it, sometimes the big business breakthroughs start here or start at home or start with their health, right? We need to fix stuff there.
Sure.
And that is the big that is the big breakthrough. And then they're off to the races in their business. They're doing, you know what I mean? So when you
Absolutely.
talk about how these genuine connections, because people show up in this community with coming with things that they need to work on,
Yeah.
right? And nobody's in here doing the dog and pony show, bragging about what they've done, because it's all about what can I do now? How much more can I grow?
Right. No, absolutely.
So listen, and this is great feedback, Stephen. I appreciate you being honest about this stuff. So lastly, outsiders looking in, maybe it's one of your friends on Facebook that are just out there and you know, maybe they're kind of still on the fence because they've been seeing you making some transformations and seeing you being more outgoing and stuff like that. Would you recommend the harvest to other people?
Well, of course I would. You know, no doubt about that. It's done a lot for me just from the thought process and clarity and understanding kind of, you know, what other people are experiencing and how that relates to me and how I can help them, how they can help me and all that, just that perspective. But I think anybody at this stage of where we are in the world, to have access to this kind of community. And, you know, really, I mean, the commitment, there's, you know, the once a week meeting, and then there's the Facebook page, but it's really about what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And that's kind of the learning curve for me as we're going and trying to get more in touch with individually with one-on-ones with folks and all that. But anybody who is open to that is going to get the benefit of what I'm talking about and what, you know, any of the members that you would speak to would say. Those like-minded individuals who are there to help and provide, you know, insights into what they're experiencing that might help you on your path to wherever that journey that you're on is taking you. We all have different goals. We all have different aspirations, but, you know, talking it through with those individuals, you know, and with you and the speakers that you've brought on has just been phenomenal. So yeah, absolutely. Long-winded way of saying, yeah, I'd recommend it.
Awesome, man. And you bring up a great point, man. Sometimes you just need to know that you're not the only one that's going through something, right?
Yep.
And it's just a breath of fresh air. And then what happens? Your shoulders go down. Okay, now I can take this on because I'm not in this stage to where I'm the only one. Now I'm going to have to deal with this the rest of my life because I'm the only one dealing with it or going through this. And then when everybody's, dude, I go through that or I went through that. And
Yep.
it's just been awesome. And thank you for being a great, loyal and plugged in member and a member who executes, because your execution is inspiring other people to take action, whether it's in this community or people that are on your networks that haven't liked, haven't commented, but I can't tell you how many times, whether it's me or whether it's other members saying like, you know, listen, it's funny thing was from somebody who never liked, who never commented, who never shared it, reached out to me and said, thank you for posting this. Thank you for doing this because you really helped me. So keep doing what you're doing. You're inspiring me, you're inspiring our communities, and you're inspired everybody else around you, Steve. So thank you so much, brother. And I know you got your vacation coming up. So
Yep.
enjoy, brother. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
man. I appreciate it, Devin. Thanks so much.